Cinema Dudes.
Well, it's safe to say we're back. We're back.
We're back, back. We're back.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Cinema Dudes podcast. It has been a cool minute since I've sat with Lucio and talk about this. I bet you guys thought this was over. I bet you guys thought this was a certain amount of episodes. It's not. It's just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting started.
Yeah, we still have the same name though, unfortunately.
I don't know. I kind of vibing with it now.
Yeah, I kind of vibe with the same name, Cinema Dudes, for now. But I don't think no one has that name. It's kind of interesting.
To us.
Exclusive to us, yeah.
So
let that be an NFT for now too.
What a fucking year it's been of the movie business, isn't it?
Yeah, right. You know, there's so much of that going on. You got, now it's, during the pandemic, not only theaters shut down, but they closed down permanently. And then we got now we transitioned to streaming. I think we were kind of mentioning that before, is that streaming was slowly getting to that kind of component, and everyone started to be committed to that kind of service.
Yeah.
So like now we're watching, we got all these different kind of streaming things. Even more streaming services are coming along. Like Peacock is coming along.
Yeah.
You got Quibi, and there's multiple like are being made. And it's I think it's pretty interesting to just.
I mean, it's been a very interesting year. At the end of 2020, Warner Brothers came out and announced that after the success of Wonder Woman 84, they were going to release every theatrical release from Warner Brothers on HBO Max, which has been a very huge success on their end as far as grabbing in ratings and whatnot. I think Justice League Snyder Cut was a huge success on that. King Kong versus Godzilla was a huge success on that. The Conjuring currently is killing it on the streaming service right now. I mean, we're only halfway through this year, and we got a lot more still come out.
You got to think like those kind of like, that's a big move for like, you gotta kind of think of like that kind of studio is a big move for them, because they had a great good success with that. I mean, I don't know about Wonder Woman 1984. I've seen it. I thought it was okay. Yeah, exactly. It was.
I had higher expectations, and then when I saw it, I was like, really?
It didn't need to be 2 hours. Am I correct?
I just
more than 2 hours.
I felt like the story was a lot lazier than the first one, in my opinion. Like there was a lot of things I would have changed as far as making more a Cheetah more of a main villain than she actually was. I felt like her character was kind of short-lived even after the fight scene. And even Maxwell Lord, I felt like could have been portrayed a lot better. Not saying that Pedro Pascal's a bad actor. I'm just saying it could have been. I think direction, writing wise, could have been portrayed a lot better.
He was a great, a great villain in that role. But like now you kind of but there wasn't so much of him. There was so much. He became this great villain, but then he became so vulnerable at the end.
Right.
And I understand there was a whole story to that, but like there wasn't much of like a huge like there wasn't a drastic like villain of him.
Right.
There was just him being this, cocky, wealthy human being that just had like a, ancient, was it a ball? I don't remember the whole movie. It was
like it was a stone or something like that.
It was a stone, and it would just be him becoming powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like it turned out great for him, but like I just didn't see much of that character.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the movie didn't turn out as successful as the first one. And then but like going to like the Warner Bros., it was just like I think it was a great decision for them, and I think the whole great move was, redoing the Snyder cut for Justice League, and
Oh my god!
it
Don't
was
even get me started with the Snyder Cut.
it was it. You didn't like it?
I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it
I
too.
loved it. I'm like, Warner Brothers, let
Yeah,
the fucking directors do their vision, and you can have a
yeah,
fucking great film. This was by far the greatest fucking thing than the other piece of shit Justice League movie that we got.
yeah.
And
Well, you got to think that Joss Whedon got in half of that film,
don't even
and
start it with him either.
yeah, he got me. He made a lot of he made a lot of his ways of his directions
Yeah,
were just into this like downward fall. I don't know. Maybe he could have, maybe he tried his best. I don't know how it was, you know, but besides, that, and with with him and his allegations and
yeah,
blah 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 blah.
all
But
that
like,
stuff.
yeah, we now know that, putting that all aside, that this is the right move. And I'm I'm actually glad that the fans actually got to, open up and, made a pension and say, like, made a vote saying to make the comeback, have
Right.
the snare cut come back. And now they're, and it's kind of funny now, like how that is made. And, ever since that's made, they think of Ben Affleck as this whole different human being now. Cause like
Yeah.
Ben Affleck turned to this bad Batman to the best Batman we ever seen.
Yeah.
And his whole is they totally changed their perspective.
Right.
It's so, and so I think that was so interesting to see. And it's amazing that you can see that they're, they're transitioning to that. Now he's able to, have more roles of that character.
Right.
We're seeing him now in this new Flash movie, which, they have Michael Keaton, they have Michael fucking
Michael
Keaton.
Keaton is coming
Yeah.
back as Batman. I've only
Yeah.
been dreaming of that, dude.
Yeah.
Got Michael Keaton. We're gonna have the first ever Mexican Spanish Supergirl. I am so happy
Yeah.
for that.
That's really good too.
And I heard there's talks of Gal Gadot even reprising her role as Wonder Woman in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, Flashpoint, one of my favorite Flash storylines. I think one of the most famous Flash storylines ever. Um,
Explain that a little bit. What is that?
Flashpoint basically is Barry Allen. He's in a constant fight with the Reverse Flash. So we're gonna see the Reverse Flash in there too, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
And
Do we have
basically,
an idea who's playing that, by the way? Sorry.
I don't know if they've announced who's playing Reverse Flash yet, but
Okay.
hopefully someone sinister and good.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that is a very sinister character. But Flashpoint basically, Flash goes back in time and stops his parents from getting he stops his mom from getting killed and his dad from going to jail. But when he comes back, he alternates the timeline. So basically, when he comes back, instead of Bruce Wayne watching his parents die, his parents watch Bruce die. So then Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, and his mom becomes the Joker, and then
Yes, I heard about this before. Okay.
Wonder Woman
Okay.
and Wonder Woman. This is a sucky part because Ray Fisher's a great cyborg, but Cyborg has a major role in there too, and sadly he won't be in the
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
So
Because
Cyborg
they're
and
making him as a solo. Because they're doing him as a solo.
yeah, but
And,
I don't even think Ray Fisher's coming back because he had all those, all that. Warner Brothers treated him like shit, and
oh,
so
got you.
I
Okay.
don't think we'll
Okay.
see
I
him come
thought
back.
I was thinking a different article, but no. Go ahead.
Wonder Woman's in there; she's bad. Superman is in there, and I can't remember if he's bad or if he's like really weak.
Mm.
Because they kept him locked when they found him at the crash. I think they kept him locked up for experiments, and then he never saw the sun, so he never got to
Yeah.
develop his powers or his physique. So basically, the universe is going to erase itself if Flash doesn't do the right thing and fix it all. So
So
Thomas
we're
Wayne.
gonna see a whole different story. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, I don't know where Michael Keaton's Batman's gonna fit in as far as who he's supposed to be, because he is supposed to be Batman,
uh-huh.
not
There
like
was
Bruce Wayne Batman too. So.
Yeah. There was supposed to be from when I was doing my research, I heard they were only gonna have him do just the old Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
And from like, I think was during the beginning when he got cast.
Right.
So this was a few weeks after. So now kind of seeing the first photo, how that is, the
The
first photo
logo.
of the logo,
Yeah.
which I was really excited for,
And a lot of people making fun of it,
is
looking like he spilled jelly on it.
yeah. But like you now, like you see that and you're just like, shoot, like now he's actually gonna be in the
Yeah.
real bat suit and his own age. He looks good for his age, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
Michael
mean,
Keaton looks great for his
the
age.
last time we saw him in any comic book film was obviously Spider-Man Homecoming.
Hmm.
He played Vulture and he
Hmm.
fucking nailed that role. And he's
Yeah.
supposedly from what I've heard from everyone talking online that he's going to be reprising that role as the Vulture in Morbius.
Well,
Uh
did you see him in the end though?
the trailer, exactly,
The
yeah.
trailer, yeah.
I am one of those people that's refusing to believe that until I actually see the film or someone comes out and confirms that that's Vulture from the MCU. Until
Hmm.
then, I am refusing to believe that that's the same character, even though he is wearing the same costume and whatnot. I
Hmm.
will not believe it until I see it for myself because I have been. Don't even get me started with WandaVision. I was filled with such false hope leading up to that, and I was just so pissed off. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I respect it as a show, and I actually love it as a show. It's such a great, unique show. But I don't know. I refuse to believe that Michael Keaton's in Morbius until I get an official confirmation.
I would say that film, it there could be a there could be a reasoning, there could be a right, like, you know there could be a true fact that he could be in that universe,
Right.
because I was reading on C comedy comic books on Instagram.
CK Comedy
CK comedy, correct,
or
thank you. And
comicbook.com.
then, yeah, and he wrote a post saying like how Tyrese Gibson,
Oh,
and I
came
don't
out. He came out and
he,
confirmed this was part of the MCU.
he's part of the MCU. So that could be the case that I think so. I think it could be. I mean, I could understand for like what you're saying because of
Right.
what happened in WandaVision. And I'm don't get me wrong, because I was actually truly disappointed at that too. But I kind of was getting the story was like, it, shit, I don't really remember the story like that. That was just all like a an illusion. It was
Right.
just it was all illusion,
Yeah.
and she made her own world,
Yeah.
and it's kind of but that kind of goes with how she is, how she's how she portrays as that character. She's supposed to be you know this she's coping with with Vision, and she wants to have Vision as this real, be part of her life again.
Yeah.
She would do anything, and she has that ability to do that, and that kind of power, especially for herself. And then now when she made that world for herself, and then she's stronger. She's been stronger than ever in this season.
Well, not
Like,
only that, but they've also come out and confirmed she is the strongest character in the MCU right now.
yeah, it's
So
it's it's insane. I would totally agree
yeah.
that's, and because you don't see that a lot in throughout the Avengers films. You don't
Right.
see that, and especially in Endgame. Well, we kind of see a little bit of her power
Yeah.
in what she's capable of doing, but we don't see her as what she the true nature of what she can actually
Until
do.
WandaVision. Yeah.
Well, WandaVision, yeah, correct. And it was kind of a bizarre way of, in the beginning, that first episode, you kind of see like, well, why isn't it set in the 50s?
Right.
Like, why is it set in like these corny,
Sitcoms.
sitcom
Yeah.
shows? And you wonder why, like, what's going on in the first episode, and then it kind of makes sense, and
Well, they show
as
later on
it's
in one of the episodes that growing up in Sokovia, she only grew up on American
right.
sitcoms, and so that's what she thought her idea of the American dream was and the American lifestyle of. That's
Mhm.
how they live. Everything I've seen on those sitcoms, that's how they live. So that's how I'm going to perceive my world is this is what I think the American life is supposed to be like.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's how I that's why she was like that. Which I truly believe, and then that's gave her the ability to be part of, like, you know Vision being part of her life,
Yeah.
in this fantasized
I mean,
way.
dude, so like,
You can go on and on.
yeah, no, it's just something about these Disney Plus TV shows that Marvel's been doing lately, and even with Star
Yeah.
Wars, especially with the MCU ones. Though this was the MCU's Kevin Feige's TV kind of debut, really, because he had nothing to do
Hmm.
with anything with Agents of Shield or any other thing that was on ABC. So MCU, these are all canon to MCU. What I like what they're doing with these shows right now is they're giving the side characters that you've always kind of seen been there, but haven't nearly gotten the spotlight that they deserve until now. So like with WandaVision, you got to dive deep more into who Wanda was as a person. You got to see more of her origin story of how she grew up in Sokovia and her
Yeah.
discovering her powers, and then you got to explore more of who Vision was, because we got introduced to both those characters at the same time in Avengers:
Yeah.
Age of Ultron. Although Jarvis, what's his name? Paul Bettany was always the voice of Jarvis since Iron Man 1, so he's been
Yeah.
in the MCU since the
So we
start.
already saw that kind of
Yeah,
origin go as through like the MCU. As the
yeah,
MCU goes, we already kind of saw how Jarvis turned to Vision, and
and then
Vision being become himself. But like
Falcon and Winter Soldier was a really good show too, because
it was great. Yeah, I thought it was good too.
Bucky has always been in the Captain America saga. I mean, he's always been the main focus for Captain America in those films.
Mm,
So he's been that spotlight character. But it was cool to see more of Falcon, because again, like much like Wanda, he has been there, but the spotlight wasn't nearly on him. Whereas this one, we're seeing the cope of 5 years after the snap, of them coming back, how they have to deal with their personal lives, and then how they have to deal about the Captain America situation going forward.
mhm.
And then you're seeing Bucky trying to cope with his past, and then him trying to move forward from that. And
Yeah.
you're also seeing Sam over here, Bucky trying to yell at Sam like, that shield should belong to you. You shouldn't have gave it up. And you're seeing Sam essentially cope with him becoming the new Captain America and him accepting that role, which I really thought was an amazing fucking story, and
Yeah.
a great setup for what's to come with the new Captain America, and of course
Yeah.
what's to come with Bucky Barnes as well. So I'm excited for that. That was a great show. Now we're moving on to Loki. We're only 2 episodes in,
Mm,
and I'm fucking loving the show. The same thing.
yeah.
They make you feel bad for these characters. They make you put them in the situations where, hold up, they kind of get a snap of reality for a second, and they really look back at their lives. I mean, have you seen Loki yet?
I've seen the first episode. I haven't got to
Okay.
see the second episode.
So
Yeah.
so we'll talk a little bit about the first episode. So spoilers from here on out. And if you guys have not seen Loki, go
Mhm.
ahead and skip past this. Don't know how long the segment will be, but we'll
Disney
talk a little
Plus.
bit. Disney Plus, yeah. I don't know how long the segment will be, but with Loki, that first episode, the just seeing him as a character of who he is, this kind of, we're picking him up from Avengers 2012. And he's still pretty evil at that point. He's not nearly where he was where we last left off with him in Infinity War. So we're picking it up from Avengers 2012. He gets a reality check in that immediately when he sees his whole kind of legacy pathed out after the Avengers, as to everything he's involved with is either destruction or death. And we
Mhm.
see that with his mom dying, with Ragnarok, with
Yeah.
um, him getting killed by Thanos, with
Yeah.
Thor expressing his love for him, like he always looked up to him, he thought the world of him. He gets a reality check, basically saying, "Well, fuck, if this is what my life is going to be, I need to do a change like that. I don't like what I do. I don't like who I am. I need to change that." And so now we're going to see him go on this adventure of stopping a doppelganger version of himself, which was revealed,
Yeah.
who was revealed finally in the second episode. So I'm not going to say who it was. It's no one that we've never seen in the MCU before, but I can't wait to hear reactions on it. We might have to talk about that every week too. So
Yeah. That's an interesting. It's an interesting how it ended too, because we didn't know who the ending ended pretty. They always have that. I think that's why I love that this whole MCU TV debut, because they always do. They always end with a good note. They always leave
yeah,
you with a cliffhanger at the end, because
yeah,
that's what they're. I think that's so great about their formula, is that they always leave you with this hook.
yeah,
It's like, and find out, oh, what's next, and then and I think that they don't do that till like what I'm guessing. I'm gonna give a good guess by the time we see the third episode, that's going to be the good cliffhanger. Is that's going to be the one that's going to shock us all. Either that one, or it's going to be till like maybe the third, the second.
Second episode left a pretty big cliffhanger,
Oh shit.
and I was like,
Okay.
I'm ready for
Well,
3.
maybe I'm putting my perspective
But
in.
I
I
mean,
would.
listen, it's a 6 episode season, and we still got 4 left. So I mean, a lot can happen between what we got left cliffhanging from us in 2, continuing
Right.
going forward. So I mean, it really is. It's a fun adventure to see that for one. But if you're a comic book Marvel fan, this is the time to be alive right now
Yeah, I think it's
because,
been live since 2020. You
dude,
gotta be kidding me.
like, no, it's just like, okay, we got the MCU back at the beginning of this year, 2021. WandaVision dropped,
uh,
right?
yeah.
Weekly series, weekly series. We've been getting Marvel content practically every month since the year started. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then after WandaVision ended, we had a week off, and then Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier started, and
Yeah.
that was on a weekly basis as well. Okay, then we took about a month off, but in between that month, Star Wars: The Bad Batch started, so people were still watching that.
Is that starting already?
That's already, I think, already on like episode 7 or 8.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty far in already.
Oh, I didn't get
Check it
into
out; it's
that.
actually pretty good
Yeah.
if you like Clone
Yeah.
Wars too.
Oh god. That's the one I needed to watch too, is Clone Wars. I keep getting these absolute great reviews about Clone Wars. It's like it's so good. I love it. I heard it.
Yeah,
I heard so many good things about it that I need to put that on my list.
right.
And so I'm gonna put that on my list soon and watch it. I think that's and that show is what, like, how many seasons? Like,
Shit, I think they just did like the final season recently on Disney Plus. That was a big comeback for them too. They never
mhm.
got to end it the way they wanted it to, so they actually got the creators, did a final season, and then now they're doing the spin-off show The Bad Batch, which is, I say you don't really even have to watch Clone Wars to understand Bad Batch, to be honest.
Oh really?
Because I've never seen
So
Clone Wars, and I went into it. They explained their origin, they explained where they first started, and now they're explaining their story. So
okay, so it's
you can
just
just
like
jump right into that.
it's
Yeah.
just walking into
As
like
as
the
long as you know,
Mandalorian.
I'd say, yeah, as long as you know the knowledge of the essential 6 films,
Yeah.
1 through 6. And I didn't mention 7 through 8 because the timeline doesn't really affect them. But as long as
Mhm.
you know the essential knowledge of the 6 films, you're fine. Because then
Yeah.
you see little references here and there and characters here and there and events
Yeah.
that happen. But as long as you know those knowledge, you can walk in a Bad Batch without even watching Clone Wars.
That's interesting because a lot of those I think that's such a great way to like do that if you really want to get yourself into those kind of like shows,
Yeah,
is anything really like getting to like the shows in MCU is watch like the trilogies, like watch all the Avengers, watch maybe, or if you haven't watched, like, you don't know who Loki is, watch Loki and Thor, all the Thor movies.
yeah.
So it's like things like that you want to like get yourself into. I mean, before you even watch that again to
So
these shows.
Bad Batch is going on, and then Loki's now on. It's 2 episodes in. Now,
Yeah,
July, we finally get Black Widow. Finally.
finally
I've
after
been
like a whole year,
a whole
right?
year, dude. I've been waiting to see Black Widow fight Taskmaster so fucking bad,
Yeah,
dude. And I'm so stoked for that. So I think
yeah.
Loki's gonna end around the time that premiere or comes out in theaters.
Hmm.
And then after that, I think their summer show is going to be What If, which is going to be an animated multiverse TV show where
Right,
it's a famous comic book series that Marvel did where they were what if storylines. So it's like things like what if Spider-Man was part of the Fantastic Four?
right. Yeah.
What
Hmm.
if instead of one of the episodes is going to be what if instead of Yondu picking up Peter Quill, he picked up King T'Challa in Wakanda and took him up, and King T'Challa actually became Star-Lord.
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
Oh
and
wow.
sadly, that's
Oh,
going to be Chadwick's last role too. So,
oh, okay. And then they I I heard that was one, but like, what was I gonna say? That's gonna be an interesting one though. And
it's
then
gonna
the
be
Black
cool.
Widow one, Widow one, I think it's great that they're gonna bring back. They're gonna have that in the theaters
Yes,
because I'm bringing. We go back now because I
that's
was
a good
actually gonna
transition,
bring.
by the way, for the movie theaters again, because I want to talk
Yeah,
to you
move.
about some movie theaters. But go ahead and keep going.
Yeah, the movie theaters that I kind of want to bring up is we're kind of talking about these studios, and Warner Brothers, transitioning to movie services, even though they still have their movies complied to, they transition to like movie theaters, of course, but they have some in streaming services. But you look at Paramount, you know, obviously Paramount now has like their own streaming service, like Paramount Plus is one, and
One of my favorite
now,
streaming services, by the way.
yeah, I heard they have. I need.
I love watching Bar Rescue, one of my favorite shows.
I
Love watching John
love.
Taffer yell at
Yeah,
people. It's great.
I will have to ask you.
I can't go to a bar the same anymore. Like every time I go to a bar,
Right.
Bar Rescue is locked in here. Like,
I
oh, I wonder what John Taffer would think of this place.
Yeah. I do the same thing because I've watched it way before it got into any streaming service. It
Right.
got into any streaming, and I watched that on Spike. And I would watch marathons. Marathons would go on for like 8 hours. I didn't watch the whole thing, obviously, throughout 8 hours, but I'll watch a lot of it,
Yeah.
a lot of them. And you get to experience a lot of these bars. There were some bars that were actually located here, local in Orange County. There was one I can tell you quickly is that there's one called Second Base Bar.
I've seen that episode. I tried to get rescued the second time and it didn't work out.
Second time it didn't work out. The first time it worked out really well. The second time what they did was that he
wanted to invest the money.
He wanted to invest money for $30,000, and he said,
No.
"Oh, let me." He goes, "No, I won't invest $30,000." And he said, "I then I can't help you."
Exactly.
And so you go in that bar now, which I have after that it got shut down way before, and now it's just shitty.
Yeah.
You go past it, it's just the same. They still have their stuff that they got reinvented, but a lot of their shit's just it's crappy.
But
it's just all destroyed. But like we're talking about like going to like Paramount. Like Paramount brought this, they bring their movies to streaming, but like we're talking about Quiet Place 2. And I actually was listening to a podcast with a producer called Brad Fuller,
right,
which he produced the film for 1 and 2, and he talks about how Paramount wanted them to keep it on theaters. They said they hold on to it as much as they wanted to. Like they were gonna lose money. They said that they preferred to have it in theaters because it was so much meant to be a movie theater experience.
And I saw it in theaters. I loved it. It was great. I saw it in IMAX and it was awesome.
Yeah. So now they were so
but the deal with that was it's going to be in theaters, but 45 days after its theatrical release, it was going to end up on Paramount Plus.
Yes,
that's right. I remember reading about that.
Mm-hmm. And then, so what's interesting about that, he told a story that how when they got the green light to go release in theaters, this was about a week or two after the vaccine got announced.
Right.
When people got, and then Brad was like, "Are you serious? Like, we can't release this on this day because like no one's, there's not gonna be enough people get vaccinated."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Let it take time." Just like the studio told him, like, let it take time. Just let's do it. Just let's take a chance.
Yeah.
And then soon enough, when they released it, it became the top it became number one of the pandemic movie to be released. They haven't had a movie be released this high since 2019.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing to see something like that, to hear like a story that they all just want to take a chance on, just something that they want to see, they prefer seeing in theaters. And I wish some movies were like that too. I wish King Kong versus Godzilla was like that, because that's, even seeing the trailer, that was kind of meant to be a theatrical release. But I mean, I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty for you, I would like to see I would like to hear what you said.
Have you been back to the theaters since they've opened?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
But I heard good things about it.
June 15th was the official date that everything was supposed to reopen 100% in California. Yeah. By the way, we're from California, so in case you guys didn't know, we are the strictest state with this whole pandemic, and I'm not mad about it one bit, because I'd rather be safer than sorry. But I went to the movie theaters first time during the pandemic. Okay, so the last two movies I saw before the pandemic was Invisible Man and The Hunt. Those were the last
Okay.
two I saw in theaters.
Hmm.
Fast forward to November 2019 or 2020. I'm sorry. I go visit Sammy out in Arizona.
Hmm.
Movie theaters, everything there is open. No, they don't give a shit over there. They didn't give a
Yeah,
shit, and
they're fully open.
they're
Yeah.
fully open there.
Uh-huh.
So I made it my job to go see at least two movies there. I saw Tenet in theaters, which I was so happy to do because
Hmm.
that movie was fucking fantastic. And the second movie I saw was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because they with not a lot of movies being released, they did a lot of re-releases for some people that
Re-releases.
never got to see those in theaters, and I never got
I
to see
think
that
they
movie in
did a
theater.
whole trilogy. They did a lot of like classic films that like I
Yeah,
remember they released on AMC theaters. They released like Citizen Kane that came out, which I saw in streaming.
I'm sorry, I should go back a little bit. I think it was June of 2020 or summer of 2020.
Uh,
I had gone to the drive-in to go see New Mutants.
oh, okay. Which I
Um,
saw too, and
it's because the freaking you can blame that on Disney actually because they had one movie that was probably a lot better than this, and they had to
yeah,
redo the entire film because of the Disney Fox merger. So
I just didn't like how Anya Taylor was just this Irish.
was she supposed
Like
to be?
her
You know who she's
is
supposed to be, right?
I don't know who she's supposed to be.
She's
I
supposed
have
to
no
be
idea.
that's supposed to be Colossus's sister.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, it makes sense for what her
her
power
abilities
was.
was
Her
yeah.
her ability was, yeah.
So I saw
Yeah.
that. Disappointed. By the way, that was the same day, and I remember this vividly, and I'll always remember this.
Yeah.
That was the same day the passing of Chadwick Boseman happened, and I remember
Yeah.
just being
That's
so not even in the mood after hearing about that going into that movie. Like it pissed me
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Um, and then fast forward November, we had to go see Tenet, Indiana Jones. Then that was the last time I went to the movies. Then like March came around, and they
Mhm.
finally decided we're gonna be opening up the movie theaters here in California again at limited capacity. I'm like, fuck
Mhm.
yeah, all right, let's do this. I'm ready. I live right down the street from an AMC,
Yeah.
and I was there every week pre-pandemic. I've been going a lot frequently lately. Um, the next movie I probably will go see in theaters will be Black Widow because I already got my tickets for them.
Yeah.
So fast forward to that, the first movie back I see in a California theater in Dolby, Godzilla versus Kong.
Uh
Beautiful comeback, dude. I think that movie was meant to be seen in the theaters. And don't get me
yeah.
wrong, if you're not feeling safe or if you weren't, feeling it at the time, HBO Max is your best way. You still got to see it. But, I got tickets for me and my dad being a big Godzilla fan, he already watched it the night before on fucking HBO Max cuz he just wanted to see
Mhm.
it. I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm going to wait till I go see it in the theaters cuz this is my first movie back in California. I have to see this one in theaters." And I
Right.
didn't regret it cuz every time they roared, my seat was vibrating. I was mesmerized what I was watching. And then right after that, I saw what was the next movies I saw in theaters? It was I think A Quiet Place 2 and um, Spiral. I saw those two in theaters.
Spiral.
Uh, was very
What you think of
impressed.
Spiral?
I liked it. It was different from the traditional Saw that you're used to.
Mhm.
But I kept reminding myself that this is just a copycat killer, so this is going to be different than what we've seen from the past Jigsaw Saw films.
Right.
But I enjoyed it. Chris Rock was interesting to see him in a serious role for once, so
Yeah, I
that
was
was
gonna
cool.
ask you that because I see a lot of him. I only saw him the last time I've seen him in anything was in Lethal Weapon,
Right.
and that Lethal Weapon 4 was like, which was a great movie to see. And then also, I mean, we all see him and we all know him as as comic that I've seen all of it. I think I've seen a little bit of his recent special. Yeah, it came out in 2018.
Right.
It was great. Yeah, so he's it's just great to see him to transition. He's been on serious roles.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think we see him in Fargo, which I haven't got to that season yet. I'm on the beginning of that season on Fargo,
Right.
but but this is kind of like him getting to those kind of roles. He's been in serious roles, I'm guessing, which maybe we haven't seen yet. But
Yeah.
like, I've heard different things about it. IMDb didn't give him a great score.
Right.
IMDb was, they gave him like a bat, like it was a 5.9. And if you don't know how IMDb works, IMDb is like more, if you get yourself to, if you get your movie to a 7, like a 6.5, it's decent.
Yeah.
If you get yourself to a 7, it's like, oh, okay, you're good, but there's little things that don't work. If you get yourself to like a 7, like 7.9, 8, which is surprising because that's where
A lot of movies
the
stand.
Snyder, a lot of movies stand, and the Snyder cut was stand at too.
Right.
Was those movies are so incredible to see. Those are so the highest recommendations to see.
Right.
So if you're like at a 5.9, 5.5, then you're more likely, it's more likely not going to be good.
Yeah.
And then if you're like Cats, and it's at 2.8, but yeah. I saw that.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about that film.
yeah. I haven't seen. I've been wanting to get myself. I want to have a night where I'm just gonna get just I'm gonna get high, and I'm just gonna watch it, and I'm just gonna laugh really hard about
I
it.
agree.
Yeah.
I see. Now this is what pisses me off because I am actually. A lot of people don't know this about me. I am a musical fan. I like musicals, live theater. I've always been a theater
Yeah.
fan. I was in theater in high school.
Uh,
So I love the production of Cats. It's one of my favorites. I remember being a little kid and they were doing a production at one of our theaters that my dad, he used to work for the school district. That was the same one that I work at. And they did a production at one of the major theaters in the school district, and he was doing the sound. So I would go with him on the weekends when he was working overtime to go see the production. So I got to watch that production at least 5 or 6 times. It was put on,
Nice.
but it was put on by a high school. I have yet to see the Broadway production, which I really want to see. But
Wow.
the Broadway show is fucking fantastic. What they did with that
Yeah.
film, I don't know who fucking decided to make that fucking piece of garbage film.
Well, did you know who made that film, right?
No.
I don't know fully of his name, but his name is Chris, and he is the director of King's Speech. King's Speech, if you don't know, King's Speech was a great film. That film won Best Director and Best Actor, which was
Was
Colin
that
Firth, and that was the one with Colin Firth, and he's King George
okay?
the
I was thinking of another
fifth.
film. I was thinking of a film with what's his name? Jim Gordon from The Dark Knight. You know what I'm talking about, that actor? Where he played Winston Darkest Hour, where he played Winston
Darkest Hour.
Churchill.
Yes, I've seen that
I
too.
heard
That
that's a
was
good fucking film.
yeah, he did really great in that film. That was the I don't know. I haven't The movie was kind of a little vague for me because I don't know. I haven't really studied much of that time how that went, but you kind of get a sense of how that history is
Right.
during that time, because that was the most
I'd say
like
that's
big
yeah.
component of that film. I mean, that history of him.
Well, yeah, that's
especially.
easily the most talked about war too in history is World War II.
Yeah.
So
And so so you see him, so you see that film. It's so great to see, and it's just an incredible film to watch. I highly recommend The King's Speech,
right.
and then also The Dark Tower too. But now seeing this is kind of like it just a huge 360. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Because like you don't like it's kind of funny how like you expect great directors, they do so successful, and then you expect them to do something better.
Right.
That's the expectation of it. That's the whole narrative, right? It's like how we see, like, us as fans, as movie buffs, we see that happen, and we have that expectation. We see a director become so well at at anything. Like we see Kevin Feige as actually too. We see Kevin Feige as like this great producer. He's made so many great Marvel films. We expect the highest expectations. So like him, and you see this movie become, you see this Broadway become a actual movie debut.
Yeah.
It's like we expect that director to do higher expectations. We actually expect it to be a better
This is
than the
why
Broadway.
I'm very scared, because there is talks about making this into a film, that I'm scared to see what they do with Wicked. And Wicked is one of my favorite
Mhm.
Broadway shows of all time.
Yeah,
Phantom of the Opera, that was a film first, and then they adapted it into the Broadway play, which is fucking fantastic. From
right.
things I've heard,
Yeah.
that's another show I really want to see. But
Uh,
it's the same way. So I don't know, man. With Broadway and movies, depending on the scenario, it could work, but most of the times I don't think it does.
well, did you see the trailer for the West Side Story that Steven
See,
Spielberg's gonna
that looks
direct?
good because I like Steven Spielberg, and if you
Yeah,
look back at his track history, he has never made one shit film.
yeah. That's the one thing I'm not disappointed about. That, but then again, we kind of like, I don't know if Broadway fans feel this way, but like I feel like as me seeing that happening, this film happening with what happened with Cats, it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but like I have high expectations. I do have faith in Spielberg because
Yeah.
Spielberg he does not have a bad track at all whatsoever. So we'll see how that goes. But like it's like those things are happening. You see these high expectations, but like yeah, like what was I going through? What were we talking about again? Fuck,
Broadway and just it being.
Broadway. Yeah, Broadway. Yeah, but like it's you see those happening, and those are we hope for those higher expectations. And it's the same thing with Marvel.
Yeah.
It's like Marvel. We see these TV debuts, and we expect the highest expectations from them, and those are like that. It's hopefully that will work. We hope that will work, or at least it turns good enough for the fans to see.
Right.
So I don't know. I hope it turns out well. I mean, the same thing as Black Widow. I have iffy expectations with Black Widow too, because as much as it has been pulled back, we see now this film turn to like we don't know if it's going to be good or not. They could be a really downfall. It could be like, oh shit, we wasted a whole year for nothing, and this movie turned to garbage. You
I
know,
have high faith
I yeah. Mhm.
in Black Widow, because I don't think Marvel does one bad film, in my opinion.
Mhm.
There's not been one that I did not like. But if I can go towards what we can expect for summer 2021, because we are just getting started summer 2021.
Yeah. Don't
Let's
ask me about the Oscars either, because I was fucking
No,
full of
I'm not
shit.
even gonna go there, because I was not a fan of
Ah!
it. I'm hoping next year will be better. But
Can I say something about that too, by the way? Because I like to give my thought on it, because I thought about it today as I was like coming by here.
yeah,
I So as like how Chadwick was on a roll, it was swept through the Oscar, swept through the
yeah,
sorry,
it was
the
who won it?
ceremony
Who won it? It
was
was
Anthony Hopkins
Anthony
that won it.
Hopkins.
Yeah, and so fortunate that he won. It became this anticlimax of this whole of the Oscar
Right.
show, because like they think that like, well, he got snubbed because it's diversity problems and blah blah blah, and because like the Golden Globes is having the same issue too,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are having not returning to the Golden Globes. You see Tom Cruise returning his Golden Globe awards
Awards. Yeah.
away to them, and it's becoming this whole allegation. And now but you see this happen with Chadwick losing. It was a big loss, and
Yeah.
I hate to say that he played really good in Levias and Black Ray Black Ray Melbottom, I think that's what it's called. I've seen the film; it's great.
Right.
He did a tremendous job. And I seen clips in the movie that Anthony Hopkins did in The Father, which he did great on too. So it's
Right.
hard to see, but now people are asking, well, why did he get snubbed? Why did that happen? My I honestly think, and this is me just speaking speculation, is that that's how the Oscars is works. That's how the Oscars work. And you can't, like, when I heard about it, when I first heard about it, I was laughing. I was laughing not in the bad way, but I was laughing. It's like people don't know how, like, people are mad because I see people mad about it. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you don't know how the Oscars work. The Oscars are just like this. They can throw they can be really nice to you, but they can throw a left fucking hook in front of your face, and
Yeah.
it could knock it. Just it's a whole knockout. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, why would he lose? Why would he lose? It's just how the voters work.
Yeah.
They would throw you just this huge surprise of anything. But there's some that they have been really good, and they have been obvious with, like, there's some of them were so their predictions were so obvious that they knew that we're gonna win.
Yeah.
But some of them come with a surprise, like and then they're and we're not gonna go into how their ceremony was, because their ceremony was, I think it wasn't coordinated correctly. It was just it becomes so it was so bland. It was just so very it was vague, and nothing was going on. There was no clips. It just turned out to be so off. It was awful.
Yeah.
I watched clips of it, and just like you just get this weird feeling. And I'm glad, like, other, and as well as like other, like, people won. I'm glad that they won too, that won awards. But like people, but like it's just how the game works. And we don't you gotta kind of see that for yourself. It's that you don't know how it's gonna be. We can go to next year's awards, and we can know that who's gonna win. But from when I see it, I think of myself, well, I know there's chances that it could be a 50% chance, and more than 50% chance they could win, but there going to be a higher chance that it could become a total curve.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like I just wanted to weigh on that. It's just kind of interesting to see how that people are very disappointed that they think that this was a robbery, and this I'm like, I don't think it's a robbery. It's just how the game is.
Yeah.
That's how the Oscar game was. It's been going on like that for years.
Yeah.
They people like have you see like actors or actresses pass away, and they get these kind of, you expect these to get these kind of awards. That's why they expect that, because of his passing. That equates for him to becoming this Oscar winner
Yeah.
because of his passing. Doesn't really work that way sometimes. It could mean that, and it didn't really work with that with other actors or actresses during that in the Oscars. And so now it's kind of like we I think that people should see it in that way. It's that, like, we shouldn't see that, just because he just passed away, or we know that he did really good and he's sweeping throughout the series, the award ceremonies, is that we don't expect him to win this last one, because it could be the Oscars are just a total twist.
Right.
It's just a whole total twist.
I mean,
So
Oscars was something this year. I didn't really watch them because there was really nothing that interests me. But I mean, we just got to look for the future, and that's a great transition for one of the last topics I want to talk about before we call quits of the first episode, returning back.
yeah.
Summer blockbusters, man. Usually summertime is the biggest time for movies to get released. We started with The Conjuring and In the Heights, a musical that was produced by Lin-Manuel. What's his name? Lin-Manuel something.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel.
Who did Hamilton, which was a success, and that was one of the first things that popped up on Disney Plus for the pandemic for people to enjoy. So that's out in theaters now. We got Fatherhood with Kevin Hart, a serious role for Kevin Hart, actually. A Netflix film that will be on Netflix.
Yeah.
Luca.
He's promoted that film really good too. So
Yeah. Luca, Disney and Pixar is coming back with another hit. That's going to be a hit with the families. That will win a lot of box office.
Yeah, and especially with Raya, that got successful too. So we can see how this will be kind of the first Pixar film to be released, I believe. I don't think so. Is it Pixar or is it DreamWorks?
No, you're Disney Pixar. You're good.
Okay, yeah.
I was saying I don't know how I feel about this next movie because I think they've gone on for too goddamn long. Fast 9, the Fast Saga coming out this and it's gonna be a fucking hit in the box
Did you hear
office.
about that? Did you hear about how we know about the whole allegation with John Cena? We don't. We all know that. We all know that what happened, what he did. I'm talking about how what they made in China. So, did you know how much they made in China?
With Fast?
So what with Fast? So what they did, they made 164 million in the
Wow.
box office, and then 134 million got taken from China. So,
Wow.
so, and this is you gotta think this was after the allegation with John Cena. So John Cena kind of like if John Cena didn't say what he said, which we don't have to really get into that, but like he but like that it could be a whole story. Obviously it could be a different story that there's we don't know how much it'll make, but at the same time, how much is it really going to make?
I
How much we don't know how much we don't know how long, like we don't know how good this film is going to be,
yeah.
honestly. But the thing is that that's how these trilogy works, is that like that they gauge into you to be going to the theater and seeing these, because they leave you to this like leaving you interested
Yeah.
to watch these. And then obviously these people that are Fast Nine, the Fast and Furious fans, there are such a component to that they are going to see it, which there's a lot of them. We can't argue with that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of them. So we're gonna
Too
I
many.
think too many. We're gonna see a lot of those happen. We're gonna see a big box office weekend happen. Or are we gonna see that in the second weekend? We don't know. We don't
Maybe.
know.
Who
We
knows?
don't know. What's
Um
coming out? What's coming out next week or after that? I hope something big. I hope
well,
something bigger.
I don't think so. Because the next after that is a movie called Zola. A24 is doing that. A24 usually does good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Summer of Soul, which is a documentary about a festival showcasing performers including Nina Simone, BB King, and Stevie Wonder. Uh,
Soul. Wait, Soul?
Summer of Soul.
Oh, Summer of Soul. Oh, I was talking. I thought you said Soul. I was like,
Yeah, the
didn't they?
Pixar.
I was like, didn't they make a movie about that?
I think the next biggest thing that's going to derail Fast is actually going to be Black Widow, which comes out July 9th.
Yeah, that's gonna
Um,
be a. It's kind of funny how you see those kind of films that are just like
yeah,
we already know what's gonna be the highest in the box office.
yeah.
So
And I think a movie that's maybe going to reach neck and neck with Black Widow or maybe a little bit below it will be Space Jam: A New Legacy, which comes out July 16th. We got Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain, comes out July 16th.
and the
Uh,
oh yeah, yes, that's supposed to
the
be really good.
highly anticipated next film from the mysterious director himself, M. Night Shyamalan, Old, looks interesting.
That's
To say the least.
I'm actually want to see that because I do love Gabriel and the actor in that. I've seen. Have you seen him in any other movies? He's
Which actor
great.
are we talking
He's
about?
Gabriel.
Gail
Gail, is it Gail or Gabriel?
Gail Garcia Bernal.
Gail Garcia Bernal.
Yeah.
I've seen one other film with him. He's a great actor. I think he's great. I think he does a tremendous job, and he does a lot of foreign films. So he's been so big. He's so invested into that, but we're seeing him, and now we've seen this American film now.
Right.
So I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see. I'm really excited to see that. I think the last film
Should be
that
good.
the kind of American film he was in was Motorcycle Diaries,
Yeah, I'm looking
which came out
forward
like
to
years ago. So
that's what they
yeah,
quoted him as from the Motorcycle
um,
Diaries.
yeah.
After that,
Oh,
we got Matt Damon returning for a movie called Stillwater. I haven't seen Matt Damon in something in a while.
oh yeah, he has a total like he's gained weight, or he's on a bodysuit with that one, I think.
Yeah. After the same day, this is gonna be a good one. I think this is gonna win over the box office. Is Jungle Cruise, which has also been postponed since
Mm,
last summer. And on the same day after that, too, A24 is releasing a movie called The Green Knight, starring Dev Patel,
yes,
Alicia
yeah.
Vikander, and
Hmm.
Joel Egerton. Should be
Do
good.
you know who's directing that one? I heard
That
it was someone.
is directed by. It doesn't say.
I want to say it was someone that it's interesting.
Other notable July movies, we have The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt, The Forever Purge, Ailey, Summertime, Hotel Transylvania, Transformania,
Hmm.
The Last Letter from Your Lover, Settlers, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, Enemies of the State, and The Last Mercenary. Going into August, I think this is going to take the summer right here, which is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I
Yes.
am so
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah.
I
It's
can.
amazing we haven't seen a trailer yet.
We have
I'm just
Suicide Squad. There's like 2 of them out.
Oh, Suicide Squad. Yes, sorry. I'm
Thinking
thinking
of
of
Guardians of the
Guardians of
Galaxy.
yeah, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, my bad. Yes.
August 13th, my birthday. I'm excited. Uh,
And
Coda and Free Guy. Free Guy is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Free Guy, yeah.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. He's supposed to be in the other film, Hitman Body Wife.
The Hitman,
Right?
the Hitman's,
Hitman's
the
wife
Hitman's wife's
bodyguard.
bodyguard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a freaking.
Have you
mouthful.
seen the first one, the
I
Hitman
have.
Bodyguard?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that one's really good, so that it got to be a sequel after.
Right.
So
Respect, which is coming out August 13th. It's acclaimed singer actress Jennifer Hudson from Dreamgirls will have a chance to play Queen of Soul, Arena.
About Arena Franklin.
Yeah,
Jennifer Hudson.
Aretha
Yeah.
Franklin, and
Yeah.
Respect, a biopic about
Aretha.
that. So that should be good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. Jennifer Hudson's in that. She's done really good, and we see her in Dreamgirls, which she was really really good at. That was with Beyonce, Eddie Murphy. That was with it's about is that the trio band was called Dreamgirls?
Yes.
It was about the origin
yeah.
of their story. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one that was the song that they did. Ching ching ching.
Yeah.
Ching, ching, ching.
Another notable one I took notice of that's coming out August 20th is The Night House. Looks pretty interesting. Peter Jackson is doing a documentary film on August 27th about the Beatles called The Beatles Get Back. And basically Peter Jackson has taken the role of an archivist who, for his latest film, sorting through more than 60 hours of unseen footage filmed from the 1970s Beatles documentary Let It Be. Jackson not only uses modern production techniques to give half-century-old footage a facelift, but recuts a new, previously untold story of a band that publicly seemed embroiled in acrimony and the precipitate. I don't fucking. There's something about a breakup. I'm fucking dumb.
Yeah. There's a big documentary about it.
Yeah.
But I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah.
One thing about that sorry to change that subject, but we're talking about Peter Jackson to Lord of the Rings to that series. Do you know how much that series is gonna cost?
The one they're doing on Amazon?
Yes. $400 million.
Yeah, I don't. Is he producing that?
He's part of it. He's producing it. I think he's executive producer for that.
Well, I mean, that's his baby, so.
Yeah, it's his. Yeah. So $450 is like I think that's the highest budget for a TV show to see.
I think so.
So yeah, sorry, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Candyman, August 27th.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty cool. Jordan fucking Peele.
He's only producing it though.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm a little iffy about it.
Who's directing it?
That is being directed by doesn't say. But I'm a little iffy about it because I'm a fan of the original and I wasn't the trailers just didn't give me anything to catch on to or hook on to. Pun intended.
Nia Da Costa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, no. I don't remember her. Nope. Oh, she's gonna direct the new Marvel film. The new Marvels. The Marvels.
The Marvels, yeah. I've been talking here.
Yeah.
Talks about that. Speaking of Marvel, though, September 3rd, which ends the summer blockbuster area, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings of movie of martial
really
arts
good.
that I'm looking forward to a lot. Should be a lot of fun. Other notable August movies, you got Emma, John in the Hole, The Meeting of Hitler, Demonic, The Protege, Reminiscence, Sweet Girl, and He's All That, all coming out in
Hmm.
August. I think we got a stacked lineup for summer blockbusters this year.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think I'm gonna be I'm gonna go start watching these other films that I'm gonna catch up on too. So I yeah, I need to do that for
So,
myself. But
man, I mean, it felt good to be back today.
felt
Felt good to
great.
talk film and TV.
Felt great.
You can
Yeah,
expect
it's
this every single week again. We're back.
yeah. And I yeah, and we're gonna see a lot of different perspectives, and you're gonna see a lot of perspectives on me. And I'm surprised that I went throughout this whole hour without my battery not dying. So
That's a good sign.
yeah, but I have a laptop, so fuck.
You know, just throwing the plug into the
Yeah,
charger and you're good to go.
yeah, I'm good to go. Yeah, but
But
no, a lot. I mean, a lot's a change. A lot's been. I think a lot. Us personally has been different from us, and we're. I think in a good way. So we're doing very well, and I'm glad that you're around to still. You're still committed to doing this, so I'm proud that we're actually going to keep on.
Lucio,
And this is helping me too, and this is helps me a lot too to do
I
what
didn't I
I want
didn't
to do.
I didn't forget about you.
Yeah, no, I didn't forget about you too. So,
I didn't forget
so I
about you.
mean, this helps me a lot with this helps you a lot too. That's something that I'm pretty sure you've done. You have like 5 or 10 other podcasts going on, but like for me, this is kind of like me practicing with what I'm gonna do too, which I have my own podcast. I'm actually kind of filming next week,
It's
recording.
finally happening.
Yeah.
So for those who've been
Yeah.
listening, I mean, I know we have a couple episodes. We're gonna get back on Spotify and whatnot real soon.
Right. We have to
But
redo our ads, by the way.
yeah, we do. But
Yeah.
we'll be on Spotify real soon again. But we're on
Uh,
YouTube, so all the videos and everything, all the audios. We're gonna start doing video and audio. So if you listen on streaming services and whatnot, you'll hear the audio version. And if you watch us
uh,
on YouTube, you'll see the video version. You'll see us in our Zoom
mm,
call, whatnot.
mm.
But we're gonna start getting back to it. I think we were just getting in the peak of things, and then the pandemic hit, and it got a little bit harder for me and Lucille to kind of keep up with this,
Mhm.
both physically and mentally, because we were going through our own stuff at the time.
Right.
But I can guarantee you, we're doing a lot better, and
Yeah.
I think we're stronger than ever, and we're ready to come back, and we're ready to do
Yeah.
this again, man.
I'm ready for all of it. I think I have I've been ready for a while.
That's why I
And
hit Lucio up last week. I was like, let's do Cinema Dudes again, man.
let's
I
just
want to
do
do
it
it.
again. I want to do it. I'm ready because I'm ready to do. I'm right when I got all my stuff, all my equipment ready, and I have, I'm ready to do my own podcast too. That I'm like I said, I'm recording next week, and it's just like I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to like fill my own, my philosophy and movies and my own philosophy, my words, and ready to say a bunch of shit.
I mean, I'm everywhere, dude. I think I'm
um
across, like, honestly, 5 or 6 different YouTube channels as of right now.
yeah, I
I
don't
do
know how you do.
I do Nights of Horror full time. That's my main
Yeah.
thing. And we do Mindless Horror podcast and shoot the shit on that one. And then
Mhm.
over on my buddy Rob's channel, The Howling Hour, we do Planet Wrestling podcast, which we just launched last week. Cinema 101 has been vacant for like a while, but it's going to be back
Yeah.
with this podcast every week. So that's
Yeah.
that channel. I do a show with my buddies, a live show. We haven't done it in a while. We've been on hiatus, but we did the TLAV show, which is all things geek and nerd related.
Mhm.
I do the New Era Gaming podcast, which is live on a different app. I do what else do I do? What else do I know I do something else.
You're grinding, man.
I'm grinding.
You're grinding. That's
I do the
all
Boo
we all.
Bros podcast on the Boo Bros, so
Brew Bros, yeah. Hey,
I'm
you're
doing it all.
grinding. That's all we know. I'm proud of you for doing that. But like for me, I mean, I'm proud of you for doing that though. I mean, I'm only here. I'm only
Hey, we got you back. That's all that matters.
yeah. I'm glad that's happening. But for you though, I'm glad that you're doing so many different things. That's amazing that you have these different kind of these kind of different podcasts and these
Right.
different subjects, and they're not all the same. They're totally different. How there's totally different perspectives. They're totally different subjects, and
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you're doing that. But like
Having fun.
yeah, it's having fun though. It's all I care about.
But
It's
I
like
am
having
looking
fun,
forward to hearing your brand new podcast. I really am.
Yeah, it's all gonna be audio. It's gonna be you're and I'm gonna bring local guests around, and you're gonna be my local guest for sure. So that's gonna be happening. And you and Sammy actually, it's gonna be we'll get him on Zoom.
We got to do, if we're gonna do Sammy. I know he just got new hours too. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think he's off now. I don't
Is
know when
he in
this.
Arizona?
He's in
So
Arizona, so we'll Zoom
yeah.
call it.
Yeah, we'll do a Zoom call because I want to do with you guys about the Miles Horror Park podcast too. So then we can bring you along, and then yeah, it's gonna be me doing a solo podcast too. So I'll be talking about just me talking about current events and me talking about me my philosophy and just my own opinions about about those and my daily life, and you'll kind of get to know the real me, kind of know how I am, besides at haunt,
Yeah,
how I am.
that's how I met
uh,
this
uh,
guy.
yeah, it's
That's how I meet all my friends now. I meet him at Haunt.
yeah.
It's
The
just
haunt industry is just so big. You just become real friends. You
yeah.
you gain friends out of it. So
I mean, I'm
that's a
feeling
gift of
good,
it.
man. I can't wait to do
Yeah,
this again next week. So
I'm ready.
we're going full force. We'll see what new movie news comes out. Whatever we feel like
Uh-huh.
talking about, movie related, TV related. We're definitely gonna probably
I'm
talk about.
ready.
We'll talk about Loki next week for sure. We'll get down to
Yes.
breakdown on that.
Hmm.
But until then, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new. If you guys are watching on YouTube, with the bell notification be where every time we put up a new video, which will be every week with the podcast. And follow us if you guys are listening on the streaming service, whatever you may listen on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, any of that. Follow us. Show your support. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and we can't wait to talk movies and cinema from here on out. Cinema boys, cinema, the cinema dudes are
Dudes.
back.
And we're rocking
We're ready to go full force, and I hope you guys are ready to join along the journey with us. We'll see you guys next
out.
week.
Yeah.